unlimited. How many members? That's what, 2 members only. If you can, we can divide 400, 400. We can add 3 members also, 4 members also, 200, 200. Don't do that. And one thing, they're giving only 2 regions access only. US Eastern and Ireland or something origin. 2 regions only. In that case, 2 persons only good. You can work on neither US, neither Ireland. Neither Ireland, neither US. This is fine. Sounds good. No, half of the US yours, half of the US నాది. ఓ అవైలబిలిటీ జోన్ నీది, ఆ అవైలబిలిటీ జోన్ నీది. లాస్ట్కి ఏమవుతుంది? ఎవరి సర్వర్ ఎవరు డిలీట్ battle will start, right? Battle will begin. Hey, why you are deleting my server? My application is running there. Like, and one more thing, we don't know your friend distribute to this account to 10 more members. So 2 members, only friends. Okay? Yeah. AWS getting a bill 8,000, 9,000 per month for me. So now 1100, 3 clouds. Yesterday I'm free 1 hour. That's what I have planned, how to rectify this issue. Every month getting 8,000, 7,000 bill. I explored, finally, personal plan I took. Yeah. Open sandbox. We'll see. I don't know the challenges. First Kubernetes I'm going to create through this. We don't know EKS permission also there or not. But I have seen permission is there. We'll see. That too, this process, especially for RBAC process, I don't know whether it will support or not. Let's see. Okay. Let me create a cluster first. Okay, my end already instance is running. So tomorrow, if possible, I will show project end to end. Okay, let me install this. Install git-y. Okay. Day 14. RBAC ls. Okay. So this is the process, the rollback here. Okay. So guys, for example, To understand this rollback concept, your cluster is running now. Okay. So you want to share this cluster access to someone. Understand? Someone means IAM user, for example. By default, IAM user is not possible to access the cluster. The reason when I create a cluster from one, okay, let me create a cluster also. I forget. Before that, what I should do? Create a IAM role. Now this role I have attached to server, right? This role get a permission for cluster now. Let me show you now. See, I will tell you. Role not attached. Huh? Cluster creating. Now guys, this cluster able to access from this instance only. Okay. How cluster can configure access to from this server based on the IAM role. The role is there, right? Background. The role get a permission of this Kubernetes cluster. In that case, if I create a one more server, if I attach same role, am I able to access or not cluster? We'll see. And that is the case number one. Next case number two, my and one IAM user is there. How to give a cluster access to that person? Okay. So that user, how to provide a cluster access? You don't say in the interview, I'm giving administrator access, so he can do anything. He can do anything if you give administrator access. But he can do anything means he can delete a cluster, he can create a cluster, not inside the cluster activities. Understand? In the Linux, we have already created a Linux user right inside. The user we have created, but the inside the Linux user is not related to IAM user, right or not? Same Kubernetes also. For example, if I want to give a pod access, specific pod access, only pod access only nodes access only, we can give. But here IAM is not helpful to give a pod access, node access. Pods, nodes, these and all workloads for Kubernetes, not for AWS. Understand? In this case, we have to create a role-based access control process here. By using role-based access control process, we can give a particular user, we can give a specific action inside the Kubernetes cluster. Only get pods, get nodes, not modify the pods, not delete a pods. Like that, we can control the access and all. So this is not related to IAM. IAM only related to cluster access, not cluster inside activities. For example, AWS IAM is responsible for EC2 instance access only. EC2 inside access will take care by depends on the OS, right or not? Linux inside activities perform if you want to give specific directory access, specific file access, sudo access and all, not related to IAM, right? Is related to inside in server activities. Same cluster also it will work same like that only. Okay. Okay. Cluster is creating. I will show you, I think if possibilities are there tomorrow, how to create a cluster through Terraform also. What and all permissions we can give easily. So which topic is difficult in Kubernetes? You feel which topic is difficult? What topics are there first Kubernetes? Then we can think which topic is difficult. Auto scaling load balancer is there. This is from AWS onwards. Tell me which concept is difficult in Kubernetes? Huh? Volumes recently completed, sir. Yesterday only, so volumes only remember. Online. Don't ask ChatGPT which concept is difficult in Kubernetes. Helm. Helm is difficult. EKS only difficult. By the way, EKS is Kubernetes, no service inside it. Huh? Helm only difficult. Huh? What about others? In that case, remaining all are easy except Helm. Oh, everyone is Helm. Do I need to show one more time Helm? No definity. Schedulers are a little difficult to remember all the use cases. Helm, nothing is there, right? Create and update image and run it only. So did anyone try static volume path? Sorry, this is already we have discussed, right? I'm talking about this one. Anyone tried? So we have to create a PV by giving a volume ID. That's it only. Okay, this volume ID, if you can create, from that PVC we can create. So we can call deployment inside. Only the difference is create volume before. Give the volume ID instead of the PV. And PVC we can create, deployment you can call. But this provision is what volume also create through deployment only. Dynamic volume provision. This is the no need to create before. Storage class.yml if you run, PV will create. And inside PVC already there in the deployment.yml. So PVC will climb the volume from the EBS and give it to deployment. As per the replicas, volumes will create. Volumes also follow the unique name. Why? The replicas are in the stateful set, right? So today your work is what? Master read replica testing. And you tell me one thing. Uh, create a MySQL deployment. Okay? MySQL deployment, not stateful set. So volumes, guys, only one time you can do dynamic volumes. Next time onwards, go for static volumes. For testing purpose only saying that. Every time dynamic volume EBS will create unnecessarily chargeable. Once you done a practice, go for static volumes for development or testing mode only. Static volume for PVC we can create and give to deployment at ML or stateful set at ML. And you can test deployment at ML if I delete a pod, same name is coming or not. Like a stateful set. These two things you can perform. A very interesting advanced concept I'm going to discuss, a headless service, where we can use an headless service. Okay, I'll explain from tomorrow. Let me complete RBAC process also. Again, I'm going to repeat stateful set. When the stateful set will come, uh, how we can work with headless and all we will discuss. Service is clear at everyone how to work service. Yeah. Yes, front end, which type of service we can use? Front end pod? Load balancer or ingress. Why request has to come external? Backend, cluster IP. Backend to database. Front end to backend, cluster IP service. Backend to database. External to front end, load balancer service. Front end to backend, cluster IP. Backend to database. Which service? Which service we can use? Backend to database. Can we use load balancer? No, request should come from internal only. What about cluster IP? We can use cluster IP, right? But my load balancer, node IP, yeah. My load balancer, sorry, my database having a multiple replicas, master, two read replicas. And now cluster IP will work like load balancer or not? This is my question. Don't think about external traffic, internal traffic. My query is, if I hit cluster IP, that request will work like a load balancer or not? Load balancer means what here? Send traffic to any one of the server. Same cluster IP also send traffic to any one of the pod or not? Right or not? In this case, will it recommend a cluster IP? Cluster IP is targeted to master and read replica. Cluster IP can send traffic to master or read replica, right? In that case, process is not good, right? There we can use headless service. Headless service directly bind on pod IP. Backend pod directly connect to database IP, database pod IP. One-to-one connections. No any service in between. If service is there, service can send traffic to any one pod again. Even cluster IP also target is two servers are there. It will send traffic to any one of the pod. Now tell me, my database is single replica only. Which service I can use now? One pod is only there. One pod master and everything is only one pod. Now which service I can use? Cluster IP we can use. No ambiguity, right? Multiple pods there only ambiguity will be there. Can I use my database only one replica means deployment YAML also? Use or not? Master delete means master only create. What about name? That you need to confirm today. Right? I have given task there. Deployment MySQL pod delete same name is coming or not? One of the tasks. Next, after that, master reader because same data is sync or not? Second task you need to do today. If you do only, I'll explain tomorrow. Little advanced level. No, if you not complete means I will stop there only. Anyway, let me show you this meanwhile. What I'm trying to say now. This is front end pod for example. No favor, right? Just I'm asking. Okay, this is front end. Go with that. Front end. Back end. This is two parts. One is MySQL 0. MySQL 1. So here we can use one service. Which service this is? Load balance. Now front end to back end communication is the reason backend parts are 1 or 2, 3 also no problem. Inside no data will be there. Just only image only. Same image will come, same pod will create. Even delete also. So backend, for example, 2 pods are there. Front end also 2 pods are there. So front end can send load balancer any one of the pod, right? Is there any problem? No. Okay. Backend pod to MySQL pod. If I give same, if I give service, for example, cluster IP. So backend pod will hit cluster IP only, right? In this case, this cluster IP can send traffic to any pod. This is not recommended. Always request should go to, write request should go to MySQL 0. Read request also should go to MySQL 0. But MySQL 1 can accept read request also, not write request. 0 can accept read and write. 1 can accept only read, not write. But service don't know that, right? Service can redirect. So problem will come. So here we can use a headless service. So this headless service works direct communication. Write request only connect to write. Read request only connect to read. How to do that? Background, they need to create a database team and developer team configurations. When the write request will come, redirecting into MySQL 0. One read request will come, redirecting to read replica. So this is a very big exercise to do this task. That's what to managing the things. What we can do, we can take RDS directly here. We no need to worry, right? If we take RDS, so RDS always accept master write request, read request not accept any write request. So high availability also there and everything is also there. But my end only MySQL 0 is there. Now which service I can use? I can use cluster IP, right? Only one database is there. So no challenges. You can use cluster IP. Clear now? This is a process how it will work. Headless, we can use headless service if multiple replicas are there. Single replica, single only there, cluster IP also there. But real time we are using not this process, we are using RDS process. Your backend pod directly connected to RDS. Yeah, kubectl. Two nodes working fine. I'm able to connect. Let's start the process now. So I'm going to create a one IAM user. Guys, I don't know IAM user will work or not here. Here, if you want, you can give EKS full access or administrative access. This is for only, this user is only for work cluster process only, not cluster inside activities. Clear or not? Yeah. Okay. So dev user is ready now. So dev user, I think it won't work. Let's try. Access key secret key. So how to configure inside the server access key secret key? We can give it some profile and create, okay? AWS configure hyphen profile. I'm giving a dev name. So now access key, secret key, US East 1 JSON. Okay. So how to update a profile here? So how to update a profile? My EKS. This is the command. So this command already I discussed at day one class. If you are unable to access your kubectl get nodes, update kube config command. So now update kube config command. If I give what is the meaning of this? Name cluster is Naresh and profile is dev. My and dev user is there, right? That means what? Update EKS cluster with dev user. Clear? Yeah. But this is meaning is what? Update with the default role. Default IAM role. Is it instead IAM role already attached, right? This will update with IAM role. Now this is update with IAM user. Role also administrated access is there. User also administrated access is there. Okay. Copy. Add a new context. Now this cluster is updated with user now. Let's run. Unauthorized access. Clear now? So if you say in your interview, my end, I want to give cluster access to someone. So how to give? Most of the students say that create IAM user and give administrator access, they can access. It's not like that. So to give this activity, we have to perform role-based access control inside. At the time of cluster creation, kube config will update as per the IAM role permissions. Now this is IAM user, so we have to give some process here. We have to follow some process. And again, I'm going to update my cluster with, if I'm not giving profile means what? This will work, default role. Now you can run, clear the concept now. Okay. So let's go to the concept now. So guys, yeah, let's go to start the process. So now first we have to create a Kubernetes role. Okay. The Kubernetes role, create a Kubernetes role. After that, we have to bind that role into group. After that, we can add the AR into config map. So we will discuss one by one. You can understand the things. My role is what? My role having some rules. The rules are what? Config map, get list, pods, get list, apps, sorry, deployment, get list. Here I'm giving a permissions. These are permissions. Get list for nodes, get list for pod, permissions. This role bind on Kubernetes config map for specific user. The user can perform these activities only. Clear what I'm trying to say? Let's create a role first. Copy. LS. I think my end already role is there right here. So my end already one role is there. So you can add any roles here. Okay, this is what get list. Here nodes are missing, right? Pod permission is there. Config map permission is there. Get list. Yeah, pods deployment config map. Only 3 permissions only I'm giving. Nodes permissions are not giving. We'll see how it will work in this case. Let's create a role. kubectl apply -f. Yeah, like custom policy, correct. Role is created. Okay. Next process is what? Role binding to map role and group. See, this role binding concept will work. Whatever role you are created, right? That role is bind on this group. Okay. What is the use of this group? Okay, let me run this. Yeah, attach, correct. VI role binding. So now if you can see, this is subject is what? Developer group. Developer group, I'm going to add my role. This group you can give anything, name, your wish. So this group is what? Authorization RBAC. Kubernetes authorization group. So you are going to add your role into Kubernetes authorized group. Clear now? Okay. kubectl apply -f role binding.yaml. Okay. Now you can check even kubectl get RB. Yeah, I'm able to see this developer role is binding on role group. Next. Okay, these 2 activities done, right? The last activity, a very important activity. So you need to add a AWS authorization config map is there. There you need to add your user details. IAM user created, right? That user you need to add into developer group. This group already attached IAM role, right? Sorry, not IAM role. RBAC role, right? So same group you are attached to user also. So user is able to access that role in terms of binding. Clear now? So here, let's run this command. kubectl edit AWS authorization. AWS auth file means authorization. So here we can see, guys, what is this? This is IAM role creation. At the time of creation, that role is there now attached EC2 instance that will be get a full permissions. Now I'm going to add here my user details also in the AWS auth configuration file. So my user is able to access a specific role whatever given a permissions. Clear now? Yeah, this is take care, guys, by adding time. So so map users, add a user ARN. Username is what? Dev. Which group user need to be add? Where the role is binding. My role is binding on where? My role is binding on where? This role group. So I'm adding user into this group. Understand? So automatically user will get this role permissions. Clear? Yeah. So copy this. You can add carefully. Even reference also there here. For example, below reference. Till here, role is there, right? Give space and give this user. Okay. See, till here, role is there, right? Give space and give user details. Insert. Clear now? And check properly. Align or not? Yeah. So now user ARN, username, user group, developer. Clear now? Edited. So what I did now, I have created a role. Okay. And so the role is binding on a group. And I'm adding a user into this group. Clear? So user can get this role permissions. This group will add Kubernetes authentication. If I create a one more user and add into same group, he will also get a Kubernetes authentication. Clear now? Okay, so all process is done now. Let's update again the command. Which user I have updated? Dev user, right? So let's log in as a dev this server now. Okay, your Kubernetes is updated with the dev user. Now you can run. Forbidden access. Now, what is the difference these two? First one is error. Second one is no resources. Why? User given which role? Pod list, config map list, and next one is something I have given. But nodes permission is missing, right? That's what. Clear? Okay. Now again you can switch to normal role. Now again you can run nodes. Let's run one pod here. So this is the process, permissions and all your interest, whatever permissions you are going to give. Pod created, right? Let's log in as a, again, dev user. Accessing pods. Clear now? Now tell me, my server, if I take a different server, okay, let me launch a server. So test server also running, right? Let's connect this test server. Okay. So let's install kubectl. Right or not? Command should be kubectl, right? ekctl required or not required? Not required, right? We are not creating a cluster. Clear, right? Now, if I get kubectl get nodes, I'm able to get? Hmm? No. Clear? What should I do? Hmm? Hmm. User should log in this server. We'll see. How to log in? AWS configure only, right? Configure key is here also. Or you tell me, this command will work? Dev could not be found. This is different server, right? Then what should I do? AWS configure. Same QNet configure. Now can I give this command? Hmm? Why? Oh shit. I forget to give dev, right? Hyphen dev. Like that I should give, right? Hmm. Now if I give pods, I'm able to access or not? Clear the process now. If easy to delete also, no problem. Until user is there. User easy to both delete. సర్దుకోవడమే ఇంకా అదే I am user. How to create, how to access group? Kubernetes, kubectl command not work, right? Kubectl edit. To run this command also permission required or not? Right or not? You just delete these two servers. Okay. Now user also deleted. Now new server created. User entry not there. New user entry is not there inside the kubeconfig file. To open kubeconfig file also we don't have permission, right? Understand what I'm trying to say? Clear the concept? Now, the question is very clear. So the role permissions, you can give anything. You can take ChatGPT help. So for example, okay, let me take, I think my end also not there. I think this is new document, old document. Huh? I'll share the new document. So different use cases. What I'm trying to say now, process is same. What I'm trying to say, yeah. You can take this. You can give full permissions also. I think this is the old one. I'll share it, the new one also. So go to ChatGPT. Admin access also we can give. User. Understand? Give star only. See, webs, if you can give star, allow all actions, create, update, delete, get, list, etc. Config maps, pods, service, endpoint, persistence, volumes, and all. Understand what I'm trying to say? Resources are what? These many resources. Here webs means what? These resources, full permissions. These resources, these are comes under apps. Deployment, replica sets, stateful sets comes under apps. So these permissions are what? All actions. Okay, so using cluster role for admin permission. Let's take. Okay. So if you add here cluster roles also, role also, you will get a full permissions. One more method, option 2, using cluster role for cluster wide permissions. If you want to give a full administrator access to enter cluster not limited a specific namespace, you can use a cluster role. Cluster role with similar configuration, wide a full access. See, this is the cluster role, cluster admin permission, RBAC authorization, KATIO. If you add this role reference to your config map, so this user will get a full access. One more option they are saying, when to use role grant permission with specific names, enter cluster, we can give a cluster role. So this is cluster role, this is role. When you can give a cluster role, that will be create a full permissions. Okay, role means a specific permissions. If you want to give, you can give a like config map, apps, and all. Okay. Mhm. Okay, got it. Let's go to, I'll do modifications. Second method, I'll do it now. So go to EC2, yeah. Here, if I remove, which means what? Administrated access, all right? kubectl get nodes. Clear now? So what I'm going to do now, vi role binding dot yaml. So here we can do this process. Let's try it now. Yeah, copy. This is second method if you want to give. This mass user defined AWS 1.5. So I'm giving cluster admin access to my cluster role. But where role will communicate here? Okay, in this case, role is not required. I think not required. Correct. Okay. We are role will limit a permissions, but we are giving full master permissions, role binding level. So not required role, right? See the full permissions are what here I'm giving. Which permissions? Cluster admin. So this group I'm giving full permissions. Now user can add this group, which means what? This group having a full permission, user also will get a full permissions. kubectl apply -f role binding created. Okay, now role binding having a full permissions, master permissions. If you attach role to role binding, role whatever permissions are required you are giving. Full permissions I'm giving means cluster role permission I can work. So my role binding, if I add my user into that role binding, my user also will get a full permissions. So where to go? Go to edit config. Yeah. Okay, here you can see now. I think we no need to do anything. Let's check it now. This is there now. Map users. Not here. Yeah, here. So I think we no need to change anything, right? We need to add only this block, groups block. This is already there. Groups block. Groups block already developer is there. So we have to change here. Which group? System master, grant admission permissions. I'll see. edited, right? Let's try my user will get full permissions or not. Profile dev, right? Clear. Clear. So role means specific control. Cluster role, we can give full administrative access. So let's add second method, method 2. We can give full permissions also to IAM user. Okay. So which method we can use? Yeah. So using cluster role, we can give a permissions option to this is little difficult concept. If you do some mistake anywhere, enter cluster access will be blocked. Take care. Okay. So we have to create a cluster role binding first. So you can add when to use also. Grant full permission access. After that, you can create a kube config edit map, right? So yeah. So we can update kube config map and IAM user details into config map with below command. Okay, so after that you can add, this is common, add your user ARN. Okay, so user ARN you can add and then edit. Again, you can update. You are able to access like a, I'm giving here same commands again here also. Clear? Two ways. How to give a IAM user full permissions. Full permissions means we can use which method? Cluster role binding method directly. Not required cluster role. When we can use cluster role? If you want to give a specific permissions, use a role and bind this role to role binding. Full permissions means directly role binding inside you can add a cluster admin permissions. Not required role. And after this role binding, add a user into developer group. See, add a user into developer group where you have added a full permissions. Clear? This is the process. Is it possible to access from other account also? How it is possible? ARN inside account details is there, right? Clear what I'm trying to say? IAM user, yeah, possible in their account need to create IAM user. Clear? Yeah. So I'm going to give a specific use case to you again on this also. User is fine, right? Now next question is, if I create a new server, if I attach same IAM role, am I able to access or not? Understand my question is? So these are very important scenarios, guys, in real time. This server having one IAM role, right? Attached. This server, there is no any IAM role. To access IAM role is not required, right? I have added a user permissions, IAM user. If I create a one more instance, if I attach same role to a new server, am I able to access or not? This is my question. If yes, well and good. If no, what we should do? Map user is there, right? You can add one more map role. Map role ARN, see here. Map role ARN, username, which group? Clear what I'm trying to say? If it will not work, if it works, you no need to do anything. See how to add specific IAM role to here. So you need to add a role. This is okay. So we have to give role ARN. IAM user ARN you are giving, right? You can try with give a role ARN. That will map to your admin access. Try this if it will work or not. Let me know. Okay. 3 tasks I'm given. One is for run one MySQL pod through deployment and delete same name is coming or not. Second task, create 2 replicas through stateful set, MySQL pod, login one pod and write a records. Same records updating or not in the read replica. Second identification. Third identification, do RBAC process. And in this process, how to give a IAM role also, specific IAM role access. If I create a new server, if I give a IAM role, am I able to access or not? User is clear, right? If I create a one more user, if I log in same user into the server, my user is able to access or not? Yes. Same role also try. Able to access or not? These 3. You can do it. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye bye.